Hello and welcome back to the Embrace the Mud podcast. Today we're diving into a topic that I know many of us can relate to. It's the feeling of not being a priority in your romantic relationship. Together we'll explore the impact this can have and how we can navigate through it. So let's dive in. You are listening to the Embrace the Mud podcast, where we discuss all things related to healthy, joyful, and life-giving relationships. Why focus on relationships? Because the quality of our intimate partnerships and close connections influences our health, happiness, and longevity more than anything else in our lives. Relationships matter a lot. So together, let's jump into the mud, aka our messy relationships, pull some weeds, plant some seeds, and create an enriching environment where strong relationships can take root. I am your grateful host, Dara Posner. I am a relational disaster working toward relational mastery. I am also a positive psychology coach, a relational mindset coach, a blogger, and now a podcaster. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Embrace the Mud podcast, where we discuss all things related to healthy, joyful, life-giving relationships. If you are a fan of this podcast, please subscribe, follow, like, review, and share. Your engagement in this way is crucial to the success of the podcast, and I appreciate you taking just a few seconds to support my mission, which is to help people like you flourish in life and love. I want to start our conversation today by saying that if you're feeling like you're not a priority to your partner, I want you to know that your pain is valid. It is okay to feel hurt and disappointed and to long for a deeper connection. Every person deserves and wants to feel important and valued in their relationship. Your needs and your desires matter, and it's crucial to recognize them for yourself and to communicate them so that your partner is clear in what they are as well. I see two common approaches with partners who are feeling this way in their relationship. The first is to not express themselves and to sort of hope that their partner will at some point just figure it out. If you're silently hoping that your partner will realize the issue, it is time to break the silence. Your partner can't read your mind, and open communication is the bridge to deeper understanding and to creating that sense of closeness that you really want in your relationship. The other approach I see is to let your upset get the best of you and let your anger sort of take over and to blame and criticize your partner. Criticism and blame only widen the gap, which I know is the opposite of what you want, right? You want to close that gap. So instead, let's focus on expressing needs in a relational way. It's perfectly acceptable to approach your partner and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, this is how I'm not feeling. But if we really want to be relational, the way we can communicate that really draws our partner in is to say, look, we both deserve to feel valued in this relationship. What do we need to do to achieve that? Honesty and vulnerability are the keys here. Share your feelings openly and invite your partner into a conversation that fosters mutual understanding and connection. Communication is a skill that can be learned. And if you're struggling in this area, I really encourage you to seek support. I work with individuals every day to help them explore and identify their needs, to enhance their communication around what it is that they need and desire, and to empower them to show up authentically and vulnerably in their relationships. As we conclude this episode, remember that your feelings matter and that you deserve to feel like a priority in your relationship. Communication is the bridge to understanding, and vulnerability is the path to authentic connection. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Embrace the Mud podcast today, where challenges are opportunities for growth. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and be a part of the daily conversation. If you think that this episode would be helpful to someone that you know, please share it with them. I'd also love to connect with you in other spaces. I'm over on Instagram and very active there, so I'd love to connect with you. My handle is @EmbraceTheMud. I also send out a weekly newsletter, and I share a journal prompt that is designed to guide you inwardly and to help you get in touch with your deeper needs and desires, both for your life and your relationships. You can head over to mudcoaching.com and subscribe to my newsletter, Questions for the Soul, there. And while you're there, if you want to explore the possibilities of the ways in which you can work with me, you can learn a lot about what I do, how I do it, who I work with, and if coaching is something you feel could really serve you in your life right now, I would love to talk to you about that. You can fill out my contact form and get in touch with me anytime. All right, I'll be back here really soon with another episode of the Embrace the Mud podcast. In the meantime, please, please, please remember, you are wired for love and connection. You are capable of love and connection, and you are worthy of love and connection. I'll see you next time.